Hi, my name is Madison Davis. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Texas at Austin, and I am in the Molecular Pharmaceutics and Drug Delivery Division, and I was one of this year's recipients of the PhRMA Foundation's Predoctoral Fellowship in Drug Delivery. I got into science. Both my parents have a scientific background, so I've just been in love with science since I was a little kid. I remember one Christmas, my dad got me a medical textbook, and I really loved kind of learning about the human body. I always thought I'd be a medical doctor. But as I kind of progressed through high school and college, doing undergraduate research, I really found that the pharmaceutical sciences was where I was really interested, and specifically diving deep into understanding and formulating vaccines was something I was really passionate about. My foundation-funded research project is focused on the development of a needle-free alternative for vaccine delivery. So we do this by targeting the mouth's lining, which is known as the oral mucosa. We've been able to develop a thin, pliable film, has a very similar consistency to a Listerine strip. We've been able to stabilize vaccine components like viruses and proteins that can help produce that long-term immunity that you seek with a vaccine. One of the benefits of using these films is that we're able to stabilize these biologics at ambient temperatures like room temperature. Removing the need for refrigeration or freezers improves accessibility at a global scale. We've also limited the number of sterile supplies like syringes and needles that are needed, as well as limiting the necessity of trained medical personnel. An additional part of this project is that we've been working to develop what's called a in vitro model. So this is essentially developing something that's living but outside of a human or an animal. And this has been really useful for us to screen different formulations and screen what are called adjuvants to kind of boost the immune response to our vaccine. And so it's a really useful tool to kind of improve our vaccine efficacy while also limiting the number of animals we have to use in order to develop these vaccines. So receiving the PhRMA Foundation Fellowship is incredibly motivating. Having leaders in the field of drug delivery read your proposal and know that there's novelty there and that there's impact, whether that's in a small community or at a global scale, is just very, very motivating. And I go into the lab every day very excited to try and get results that are going to kind of bolster what we're trying to do within the vaccine community. I will be going to Seoul, South Korea for a conference where I was invited to not only present a poster on my research, but also give a talk in front of a crowd that is very well versed in vaccines. This is something that is incredibly motivating, and it's very rewarding after years of work in a field. So one of the best pieces of advice that I think I got as an early career researcher was to take initiative of my own learning and take initiative in my own research. Especially in grad school when things are a little bit more niche or you're doing something that's very novel, there's not a lot published on it. You have to be the one that really digs through all of the literature, digs through all of the data to really find what is exciting and interesting about your work, and that's going to leave that lasting impact on the scientific community. I'm hoping to graduate next spring, and I want to pursue a career in the pharmaceutical industry. I'd really like to keep advancing my work and continue to work in the drug delivery field, as well as, if I can, work in vaccine formulations. I think that's something I've been really passionate about for years and I have a lot of experience in, but I know that there's a lot of other novelties about the field that in the industry there's so much to learn and keep progressing.